All right, y'all. There's an old saying that goes, pace makes the race. All right, and especially in the Kentucky Derby, because in the Kentucky Derby, there's a tendency for horses to run this race like it's a 6 furlong race instead of the 10 furlongs that the race actually is. It's so many horses that the speed horses like to try to get an advantage quickly. They don't want to get caught up in all the traffic. So the pace tends to be a lot faster than it technically should be for a mile and a quarter. Um, but then you have these horses that are so good they can handle that fast pace sometimes, and other times you have a pace that's so fast that none of the front runners can handle it, and you have some strong closers come in. So looking at this pace real quick here, the easy thing to say is that Rock Your World's going to come out and get the lead. Rock Your World came out dominating in the Santa Anita Derby, had the fastest opening half mile of any of these horses in this field, 46-second opening half. However, they changed the jockey. Umberto Rispoli is going to be riding Brooklyn Strong instead of Rock Your World. Now, will that have a difference? Quite possibly. They have Joel Rosario aboard him instead. Rosario is a bit more constrained, I would say. He's not necessarily, I think, going to let the horse just ride out, even though he did that with Hot Rod Charlie in the Louisiana Derby. For some reason, I think with Rock Your World, he's going to go for the lead, but he's not going to push it. You know what I mean? Also, we're going to have Medina Spirit, who got left behind by Hot Rod Charlie. I really think that Baffert, he's got Velasquez on Medina Spirit. I think he's probably going to go for the lead as well, trying to do like an authentic, like a Justify. I think he's really going to go try to control this race. Johnny V knows how to do that. He's not necessarily the most aggressive guy either, though. So will he really push Medina Spirit to the limit? I'm not sure. Really not sure about that. I also think Soup and Sandwich is going to be in the mix. Jockey change there as well. Tyler Gaffleone's aboard him. If Mark Cassidy tells him to send Soup and Sandwich, I kind of think Soup and Sandwich might get the lead because the jockey Gaffleone might just let's go. Screw it. We're just going to do it. So it's going to be tight. I think one of those three horses is going to have the lead. I think the pace is probably going to get pushed to low 47 seconds, maybe a high 46. I don't think they're going to go too fast. Even though if they get into a battle, it could get into the 45 range. But I'm probably thinking more like a 46 and 4. Not sure if they're really going to go much faster than that. Now, right behind them, I expect to see Hot Rod Charlie and Highly Motivated. Highly Motivated, they already said they're not going to send him to the lead. So Chad Brown wants to keep him off the pace in this one. Maybe better idea, maybe not. I don't know, but they want to keep him off the pace. Hot Rod Charlie, I expect to kind of be in there as well. They've switched him to Flavian Pratt. He might try to be a bit more aggressive on Hot Rod Charlie. It's possible he gets the lead instead, but I think he's probably going to try to sit off these other three as well. Now we're going to have another group of horses that are going to be sitting back, the mid-pack horses, I guess you'd call them. Mandaloon, Superstock, Midnight Bourbon, Sainthood, Like the King, Helium, and King Fury. These horses are going to be mid-pack, shuffling back and forth, I think, looking for a comfortable position to try to make their run when the time comes. Now, the horses that are going to have a lot of navigating to do are the off-pace horses, of course. We've got Known Agenda, we've got Brooklyn Strong, Keep Me in Mind, Obesos, Dynamic, Hidden Stash, Essential Quality, and Bourbonic. I think those horses are going to be the furthest off the pace. Essential Quality may be a little bit higher up there because Size, I don't think, is going to want to let this race get away from him. So he might try to keep Essential Quality a little bit closer to the pace than before. But if you look at the races Essential Quality's running, he hasn't been on a fast pace. I mean, there's only one race I think he's been in where the pace has been decent. It's usually races they walk around the track and he comes from behind and takes over. So he's not running very fast at the beginning of these races. Even though I think, like I said, Size might pick it up a little bit for this one because he doesn't want to get caught up in all this traffic. Known Agenda, Irad Ortiz Jr. Now, a lot of people are not liking this horse, the Todd Pletcher horse, because of the one spot. They did change the gate for the Derby so that the one spot doesn't get squeezed anymore, because they have a big gate that can hold 20 horses instead of having the extended gate like they did before, and it would push the one horse up against the rail coming out. They've solved that problem. Last year we didn't have 20 horses, so this is the first time we're going to go in with 20 horses. The one spot has a lot more room in the way they launch the horses now. They've got a good jockey, and I really don't think that one spot is as bad unless you're really trying to get out ahead of the horses. If you're coming from off the pace, I think the more important thing to do is just try to get a good launch and get comfortable, because it's too hard. You're probably not going to have the rail anyway if you're going to do that, unless you're going to swim through like Calvin Burrell did on Street Sense, where he was able to swim through the pack and get the rail. Maybe Irad Ortiz could do something like that, but I think he's probably going to try to move more to the outside, move him out off of that inside trail and get him going. Like I said, Essential Quality I think will be a little bit closer to the pack, possibly than the rest of these, but he's still set up to go off the pace. Now, as this thing heats up, we're really going to have, I think, a pretty quick race. The mile for most of these races they did in 1:36, except in the Bluegrass. It's the only one with a 1:35 mile. I'm expecting they're probably going to get a 1:35 mile out of this. I don't know if Rock Your World can do it. I don't know if Medina Spirit can do it. I don't know if Soup and Sandwich can do it, because they didn't do it before. They all did their miles in 1:36, and a lot of them they fell apart before they got there. Highly Motivated is probably going to be positioned very well to make a good move, as well as Hot Rod Charlie. But these front horses, as long as they don't burn themselves out, I think any one of them can stay in there for the lead. Now, the chances of any one burning away and just getting it done, I think Medina Spirit or Rock the World or Soup and Sandwich is just going to have to go if they're going to get that done. Especially Rock the World, Medina Spirit, the ones that have, they're just going to have to go. And I don't know if they're going to be willing to go that fast. The other thing is the weather. Not looking at any rain, so we're looking at a fast track for this Derby. That is going to probably, most likely, favor an off the pace, I think, because I think the pace will be probably too fast for this 1.25 miles as it usually is, and that will probably favor an off the pace horse. If it rains, or when the track is sloppy, the front runners kind of get that advantage, because it's harder to come from behind. When it's a sloppy track like that. So looking at a fast track here, that kind of leaves it wide open what everybody wants to hear. Essential Quality, like I said, still going to have his work cut out for him, because even though he's the favorite and looks really good, he's going to have to come from most likely off the pace and have to pass probably by 8 or 9 horses if he's going to get it done. These other horses are probably going to get a decent lead on him. So that's how I have it there. I said I think we're looking at a pretty quick pace. Like I said, a high 46. Probably going to do that mile in 1:35 and change. And I don't know how they're going to hang out for the rest of the race. I don't know how fast these horses really can go. They haven't been that fast. No horse went under even time for the first time in a while. I can remember none of the prep races were under even time at all. So we'll see what they got going here. I'm going to put together another video with a full breakdown of these horses and give you guys some picks coming up.